What's the guarantee? Eric?
Mike, time to make history. Players in Circa Million make 5 picks against the spread each week with quarterly and full season payouts.
Circa Survivor entries choose one team each week with no point spread. The last one standing wins it all.
We have $21 million on the line. Are you in? Visit circasports.com for details.
1, 2, 3, 4.
The iconic Paul McCartney got back live. A once-in-a-lifetime must-see event. Paul McCartney, performing a catalogue of music that's formed the soundtracks of our lives. Casey Centre, October 14th. Register now for pre-sale access at paulmccartneygotback.com before the general on sale this Friday at 10 a.m.
What is up? Bigger than 12. Here on Tuesday, July 15th.
Well, technically it's the 14th.
Well, they're listening on the 15th.
No,
Not everything's
true.
about you, Derek.
That's
Please
fair.
restart. My gosh. Yeah, we've given away our secret. We are recording this the night of the 14th. So if any major news happens overnight,
Which it probably will.
we're screwed. We're just absolutely screwed. No, I'm kidding. Thanks for joining us. It's bigger than 12. We are 39 days away from kickoff in Dublin for week 0 of the college football season. We're going to keep previewing the season. We've got a little coaches poll. Who knew? When they got rid of the preseason poll, now we've had more polls than we've ever had.
Yeah, because everybody and their mother wanted to create a poll, so
Yeah.
that's exactly what happened.
It's like a podcast. They just let anybody have these nowadays, even us.
That is true. I'm not going to argue against that.
The reason we're able to have a podcast is because of WealthCharter Retirement Planning and Tax. Tim Hawkins and his team, they make a lot of very, very good investments. I don't know if us is one of those good investments, but I can assure you that when you're investing your money into their retirement planning and their tax, that they are putting it in good spots in the market. You can trust Tim Hawkins to simplify your wealth. Go to wealthcharterretirement.com and schedule an appointment at their office in Ankeny. So we're going to react to this coaches poll, and then we've got our Houston and Iowa State season outlooks, and we'll be back. We didn't do a draft last week because it was a weird show from Big 12 Media Days. We've got one this week. We're doing Big 12 cities or towns. Might be
Both.
Might be
Towns
more-
and cities.
might be more accurate.
Yeah.
So let's start with the coaches poll. Brett McMurphy of On3 did some great reporting down in Dallas and polled. It doesn't specify that it was all head coaches, but I'm going to guess it was all head coaches' picks for who they thought would play in the Big 12 championship and of course the winner. So this resulted in Kansas State being picked to win the league. Iowa State picked to finish second, despite the fact that they had no first place votes. 7 coaches picked them to be the runner-up in Dallas, which I thought was fascinating. Behind them, I got to pull it up. There was Texas Tech, Utah, TCU got a vote. What were your and Baylor? And what were your initial thoughts on that poll, Derek?
I was a little surprised to see Kansas State kind of the favorite there. Maybe second. I think you could make a strong argument for them to finish second. But Arizona State not winning the league to me was pretty shocking. But again, you can't vote for your own school, so I totally understand those rules as well. But to have the defending conference champion not even win the conference, I thought that was pretty surprising, especially when you look at what Arizona brings back. We've talked about this before with Sam Leavitt, their offensive line returns, Jordan Tyson. So their defense is going to get healthy this year. They're going to be, I think you can make an argument even without Scatabo that Arizona State just overall as a whole team may be better than what they were last year. Now, they do have a tough schedule. We all know that. So it's not going to be easy by any means. But, I mean, Kansas State's schedule is really no cakewalk either. And I feel like the Kansas State pick is all dependent on Avery Johnson. If Avery Johnson takes that next step, and we've talked about the tools he has, he could be a potential dark horse Heisman candidate. But until he puts it all together, I think I have a really tough time with somebody saying, yeah, Kansas State to me is the clear favorite.
See, I've also picked Kansas State, and that's where it's different. But even though I've picked them to win the league, and I think that they're the most complete team, at the same time, I also don't think that maybe they should be the outright favorite, like this poll indicates. But of course, someone has to be the favorite, right? So I could go either way, back and forth between those top three. In my eyes, I see K-State, Iowa State, Arizona State all on an equal level, and then I don't know what Texas Tech is doing there in the top 7. No smile, Derek. I was joking.
The hate for Texas Tech.
I was joking.
Tech got some votes.
I know. I'm kidding. I honestly think they got it pretty right. It is just a little jarring to see that 7 coaches thought Iowa State would be in the Big 12 title game, and none of them think that they're going to win it.
I mean, getting in the top 2. I mean, if you're projected to be in the top 2, you have a chance. So
right, yeah.
I was surprised, but
it's more just the math of it. Like you'd think at least one of the coaches would pick them to win. I'm not shocked because this is honestly right around the range where I would have TCU. But I was a little surprised to see 2 coaches pick them to win the league. So maybe they aren't flying as under the radar as maybe we both think.
Yeah, but I don't know how many media members actually would vote for TCU even in their top 3 or 4.
Right.
So that to me was also very surprising. Even Baylor having a first place vote, that was also pretty shocking. But again, I think TCU and Baylor would be great dark horse picks to win the conference. Unfortunately, I think TCU maybe has the toughest schedule in the entire Big 12.
It's interesting because there's probably a lot of politics involved in this too. Like who is doing Baylor solid? Or is there truly just one coach out there that really, really thinks that Baylor is the best team in the league? Or is there a very close friend of Dave Aranda? Like I don't know.
Well,
it's not a true poll in the sense that everyone's submitting their 1 through 16. You're tallying up the average of where everyone is. It is a little bit different, but it is still, a great gauge on where the league's coaches think that it's going.
Kansas State, again, not a bad pick. Arizona State, I think, should be the favorite, but I don't really have a problem with that. Plus, if you think about it, Farmageddon, a rematch in Jerry World for the Big 12 title, like that would be epic. That Jerry World would be sold out in minutes. I think it would.
Oh, man.
I think the scene there would be incredible. And the fact that we're going to eventually lose Farmageddon in what we said, 2027, I think it was. We're going to get it next year in Ames, but to have it twice in 1 year, that would be incredible. In Ireland.
Yeah, it'd make up for the loss.
Probably would.
It would definitely be the best storyline. I can say that from my seat. The best storyline would involve Iowa State, but for the college football season, the Big 12 season to start in Ireland, and then for the Big 12 season to end with Farmageddon again, that's one of the 3 best rivalries in the conference. So that'd be pretty freaking cool.
DFW may run out of beer.
If you've got any disagreements with the Big 12 coaches and how they're handicapping the league, you can go to Circa Sports Iowa and you can place some bets for yourself. Right now, Circa Sports is starting their Circa Millions and Circa Survivor contest. It is the biggest pro football handicapping contest in the entire world. Entrants must sign up in person in Nevada, but they can play from anywhere in the world. Circa Millions, guess how much money you can win? It's got a guaranteed pool prize of at least $6 million, and the Circa Survivor has a guaranteed prize pool of at least $15 million. This sounds like a blast. I know you're going to Vegas next week. You're going to have to sign up. And
this week.
Oh, yeah. You leave tomorrow, Wednesday, right?
I'm heading out Wednesday.
I don't know if I'm going to make it to Vegas before the season starts, so I might we might have to go. We might have to do it together as a Big 12 podcast.
That'd be incredible.
pick a Survivor or...
That'd be awesome.
I think both sound awesome, but if I had to choose one to do, I think I'd play Survivor. That's the most fun.
Yeah, I'll probably check out Circa when I go down there. And one thing I love about Circa, damn, they have those tall beers at the bar. I really love that. Obviously, I do love beer, but any place that gives you a tall beer, I do appreciate that.
We did our beers draft a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
That was probably honestly a month ago now, or 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And I don't know how we screwed up and forgot free beer. Like, that was an easy.
Oh, well. That's an obvious
one. A tall beer's got to be up there, too. The tallest beer. I had a tall beer Saturday night at Ernie's in East Village.
I saw that. You were celebrating a birthday?
Kinda.
Would you turn 21?
24.
24. Close enough.
We were celebrating Bryce Miller. Mm-hmm. And so we had the St. Bryce's Day. It was at Tonic in Des Moines right after the celebration of life at Principal Park. And then I had to head out because I was meeting some friends for my birthday that night. And I'm just like casually, hey, I got to leave Keith. He's like, oh, what are you doing? Or I maybe told it to Chris. I'm like, oh, yeah, it's my birthday tomorrow. And then they all showed up, which was really cool. That was really fun. I told them, like, you guys are more than welcome to come if you want. Like, everyone would love to have you. And I figured they'd just stay where they were all night. But nope, they walked 15 minutes. Wow. It wasn't just Keith and Chris. It was Jenny, and there was like probably 4 or 5 other couples that made the jaunt from Court Ave to East Village. So that was really fun.
I don't know if I'd walk 15 minutes for you. I don't know. That's a long ways.
Yeah, I wouldn't walk 15 minutes for myself. I know that for a fact.
Did you put a guilt trip on them? Is that why they went?
Probably.
Yeah. We feel bad for Jake. It's his birthday. We better go.
Yeah, it was a fun it was a cool gesture though. It was a cool Saturday. So let's move into our season outlooks. We'll start with Houston. So we'll start with who is gone, which is most of their offense, and that's a good thing. They do return a couple weapons. Rashawn Sanford, their leading rusher, but only about 450 yards and 1 touchdown last year. And 2 of their top 3 receivers, Stephon Johnson and Mekhi Muse, those 2 combined for just about 650 yards and 3 touchdowns. So not dynamic at all. What they bring in, though, on offense, they bring in Tulane's offensive coordinator as he reunites with his old head coach and now current head coach, Willie Fritz. They also bring in former 5-star quarterback Connor Weigman from Texas A&M. Not a great year in 2024, just about 800 yards, 3 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, 56% completion percentage. They also bring in receivers Amari Thomas and Harvey Broussard. Thomas, 670 yards, 8 touchdowns at UAB. Broussard, 500 yards, 3 touchdowns at Louisiana. Dean Connors, running back from Rice, 1,265 all-purpose yards, 11 touchdowns last year. 5 offensive linemen come in from the portal, 70 FBS starts between them. And then the prize is Tanner Cazzoli, 839 yards as a tight end at Bowling Green last year. So they completely redid their offense. It is going to be night and day from last year, at least from the look. We'll see about the production. On defense, they lose 7 starters, including a couple all-conference defensive backs. And then they bring back a linebacker, 2 DBs, and a nose tackle. And then they bring in a couple nice additions on defense. I think the question, though, starts on the offense. Were there additions? Is it going to be enough firepower to be not in the basement of college football?
Yeah, when I look at the offense last season, I think the level of talent overall that they had on that side of the ball was a problem. Fortunately for them, their defense was really able to kind of step up and be respectable, I guess. But they finished 4th in the Big 12 in scoring defense, but dead last in scoring offense, which was really pathetic. I mean, if you look at their numbers from a year ago, I mean, 14 points per game. They were 132nd. Total offense, they were 128th, 126th in passing offense. So you hope that like Connor Wegman, the Texas A&M transfer, can help kind of turn things around a bit. You mentioned the offensive coordinator from Tulane, so you hope he can kind of rejuvenate kind of what him and Willie had at Tulane during their time there, but not a lot. I mean, Stephon Johnson, I think, can be an elite player. I don't know if he's going to be able to take that next step. Muse at receiver's great. You mentioned the offensive line, where I think needed a serious upgrade, brought a bunch of transfers in. So I'm curious to see how that plays out, because if this team can play respectable defense like what they were last year, and the offense can improve, like I think you can make a strong case for them to be much improved, maybe get to a bowl game or something like that. But offensively, I think a lot of new faces, and that's sometimes we say that's a bad thing. But in this case, when you played that poorly last year on offense, I think it's a very good thing.
Yeah, I thought their defense was pretty good last year. The offense was just about as bad as it gets.
Yep.
At least, I mean, they weren't Iowa bad, because this isn't even like taking a shot at Iowa. They couldn't throw the ball, but at the same time, at least their quarterbacks were capable with their legs. So that was like the one, if they had any sort of silver lining, that was it. And it seems that they have brought in reinforcements. Again, it's similar to Colorado. It's similar to a team like West Virginia or Arizona that are just completely reinventing their offenses. We won't know until we see it. And I've got a question about Connor Wegman, because I did it. I've seen it a lot. When he's introduced, it's former 5-star quarterback. We don't call Arch Manning a former 5-star quarterback.
No.
We don't call, usually former 5-star quarterback is a bad thing, because it's like, oh, you're trying to sell, like, we're bringing in this former 5-star. Same thing in the NFL. If you see former first-round pick, you're like, oh gosh, this guy's a bum. So I'm not calling Connor Wegman a bum. He clearly is not living up to expectations at Texas A&M. But that's not to say that it can't be a breath of fresh air in a new place. Probably a lot less pressure than he's used to in College Station. So I'm curious to see what he's like. I'm not expecting him to be in the top half of the Big 12 in quarterbacks, though. But maybe having the 12th best quarterback in the league can take Houston from 5 wins to 7. Because last year, I think they were pretty clearly either 15th or 16th when it comes to quarterback play.
Yeah, and Houston took a flyer on him. And I think Wegman's a guy who, he is a former 5-star player, a very highly touted recruit. From the state of Texas, from the Houston area, I believe. So not a bad idea to take a chance on him. I think the upside there is definitely with him. I think there is potential with him. Unfortunately, it's untapped potential, but we'll see if this staff can get the most out of him. And if things go great, then he turns out to be an excellent pickup. I mean, really good. I mean, it's kudos to Willie and his staff for going out and getting a guy like that to come to Houston, because as we know, looking at that offense, it probably wasn't the easiest place to come recruit a quarterback to.
Yeah, and we've seen examples of this before, especially in this modern age of the portal, or even go back to Baker Mayfield. Not that he really played at Texas Tech, but wasn't thought of highly, gets a second chance somewhere else and becomes elite. If Houston fans are expecting this Wegman kid to be that, they're mistaken, but that's not to say that he can't be a 10% better player than he was in College Station. And if he's 10% better than he was in College Station, he's going to be an average to slightly above average quarterback. And that will, again, I can't say that enough, that will be a massive upgrade over what they had in Donovan Smith and Marquise. I'm blanking on.
It doesn't even matter.
I'm blanking on the backup kids.
Wegman's going to be the guy.
The backup, he terrified me when he started running, but anytime that he brought the ball back to throw it, not a lot of great things happened. So that about hits it on the offense. I'm really excited for the tight end. I love a good tight end, and it seems like he could maybe be their go-to option. The defense, however, it was shocking in spring ball because they retained most of their defense after the season. It was spring ball when they lost A.J. Halsey and Jeremiah Wilson. Those were their two elite defensive backs. They combined for 9 of the 12 interceptions for Houston last year. So they've really got holes to plug there. We're not like positioned to completely critique every single player in the portal because that's not what we do. But from what I read, it does sound like they were able to get a couple nice pieces, and it might just be a fact of trust Willie Fritz. Like they had their defense was a lot better in year one than we expected. So maybe he's just got the ability to bring it together and have a solid unit.
Yeah, again, going back to the numbers last season, 4th in scoring in the Big 12 defensively, 2nd in total yards, and they're top 5 in both pass and rush defense. So, yeah, it does suck that they only returned 4 starters, and there's going to be plenty of new faces. I probably think it's fair to say that the defense probably is not going to be as good as they were last season. But again, if the other side of the ball improves just a little bit, then they won't have to try to be this elite defense that they're not. So it's all going to be about balance for Houston this year. Their offense needs to improve some. Their defense is probably going to take a small step back. But if it can balance out, I think Houston will be okay. I think the most important thing is them just to keep progressing throughout the Willie Fritz era.
I really do think if we're looking at which team from the bottom tier or the bottom 2 tiers of the league can jump up and be Arizona State from last year, I think Houston would be my number 1 contender for that. Just because of the momentum that they built under year 1 of Willie Fritz. It's really similar to the type of momentum that they built under Kenny Dillingham over at Arizona State. I feel better about Houston going 5-7 last season than I do Arizona going 5-7 last season. Like it was a 5-7 with momentum, and they really figured it out towards the end of the year, and they went on to address their major issues. I think that I guess they went 4-8. That's besides the point. I just think the amount of question marks that they have coming in is probably a good thing and not a bad thing. And when you look at the money they spent and where they spent that money on, there's just a chance where, yeah, maybe if their offense is a top 5 offense in the league, which I'm not saying it will be, and their defense is pretty similar to last year, like that's a team that could maybe surprise people and win 8 or 9 games.
Yeah, and they were a team last year that were way better in the second half of the season compared to their first. I mean, they had a stretch where they won 3 Big 12 games in 4 weeks. I think they beat TCU, Utah, and Kansas State, and they were competitive with Baylor, competitive with BYU. Remember in that last game where they led in the second half? Yeah, I mean, so they were right there in a lot of those games in the back half of the season. If they can play like that to start the year, then I think they'll have a lot better shot this year to compete.
So what's a disappointment when you look at the Houston Cougars? Or maybe I should say, what's a success in 2025?
I think it's just getting to a bowl game, plain and simple. I'm not expecting Willie Fritz to turn this program around this early. It's going to take time, and I do believe he is the right man for the job there at this very moment. Maybe not. He's not the long-term answer in Houston, but if he can get this program back on track to the next man, I think that's going to be crucial. So getting back to a bowl game would be a step in the right direction that this program needs to take in the Big 12.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think 6-6, you look at that, no matter how you cut it, that's a success. And I don't think 5-7 is inherently a disappointment either. It just kind of depends on the type of 5-7. Yeah. And I do think they're going to hit that 6 wins. I'm bullish on Houston.
Good chance they do.
I'm not going to offload all my money to buy Houston stock, but I like Willie Fritz, and I just think he's a really rock solid coach, and I think he's in the right spot.
Agreed.
We'll move on to Iowa State. I'm going to head to Iowa State in about 12 hours from when we're recording. Got some basketball media availability. Going to talk to the godfather for Cyclone Fanatic, and I'm glad that I've recently hit up Freedom Tire. They made sure my tires were all good to go. Got an oil change. My car's not going to break down on the way to Ames. And usually I'm a superstitious person, so I wouldn't just say that, but when I've got Freedom Tire taking care of my car, I got no worries in the world. They've got locations up in Ames, believe it or not, Altoona, Des Moines, West Des Moines, and Urbandale. Go support Freedom Tire, and thanks to Freedom Tire for supporting what we do. Iowa State, I don't think we need to really go over the roster too much. We know our demographics. It is mostly Iowa State fans. I'll do a very, very short one for maybe some Big 12 fans. Jaden Higgins and Jalen Knoll, both to the NFL. Lost a handful of starters on the defensive side of the ball, but for the most part, they return almost all the linebackers, most of the defensive line. You just lose Darian Porter and Malik Verdun and Bo Freeler as starters in the secondary, as well as Miles Purchase. Maybe an under-talked about departure is left tackle Jalen Travis, was also drafted in the NFL draft. But then when you talk about who's coming back, Rocco Becht, both running backs, almost all the linebackers, and then they bring in Chase Sewell and Xavier Townsend to replace Higgins and Knoll. My question lies on the defensive line. Dead last in the conference last year in sacks, second to last in rushing defense. That's just, it's got to be fixed. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know if the added experience that the linebackers have gotten is going to make life easier on the defensive line. I don't know if someone on the defensive line, whether it's Ike Ezeagu, the transfer Vontroy Malone, the Yale transfer, I don't know what the fix is, but there has to be a fix.
Yeah, I mean, at least you get, Big Dom Orange back. He's one of the best interior defenders in the Big 12. But as you mentioned, you've got some new faces up front, and those are guys that are going to have to step in from day one and be immediate impact guys, because you look back last season, they struggled against the run. 17 sacks last year in 4 games. That's not good enough for that defensive line. They have to do a better job of setting the tone up front, stopping the run, and most importantly, getting pressure on opposing quarterbacks, because I don't care how good your secondary is. If you can't get to the quarterback, eventually something's going to break in the back end. So that is something that this defense needs to fix. Also, for me, it's really just getting healthy. I think that's just another thing that nobody really talks about, because last year your linebacking core was just decimated from the first 2 or 3 weeks of the season. And speaking of linebackers, you get Caleb Bacon coming back, so you can make an argument that he could be their best defensive player. So again, I expect that unit to take a step forward. You need some faces up front to take another step forward. Williams and Jeremiah Cooper in the back end. I don't worry too much about Iowa State's secondary. It just seems like every year they're able to plug and play guys and kind of fit where they need them to be. And that's the other great thing, about a John Haycock coached defense. I mean, he can just roll guys out there, and he's going to coach them up. They're going to end up probably being a top 5 defense in the Big 12, even though they might not have the star power that other defenses in the league have.
Yeah, and I think if they are able to find that fix, it'll correct a little bit, because what we saw out of the run defense last year, it's a miracle that they won 11 games. It is an absolute miracle. They cannot roll out that level of run defense again and expect to be as competitive as they were. And the other side of that coin is how did they do that? Are they going to be able to replicate that? No, even if the run defense does improve. And then on the other side of the ball, I think it's just as simple as how quick can Chase Sewell and Xavier Townsend fill the void of Higgins and Knoll, and is Rocco better than he was last year? If you have to say it because it happened, but if you take away those game-winning drives, Rocco did not have a good year by his standards. But He led 4 game-winning drives for touchdowns, and he gets all of the credit in the world for that. He's just got to be a little bit better in minutes 1 through 58.
That's fair.
Improve that completion percentage, and I do think that. I think he will. I think this is the year where Rocco probably takes a massive step up statistically, and that alone could be enough to soften the blow of Higgins and Knoll. And then if Townsend and Sewell become stars, then who knows what heights the offense could reach.
Yeah, for me, this is the year of Rocco Beck. Like, he should know by now what to do, how to run the offense, and execute it at a high level. And we've seen that from him, but it's time for him to be that leader, take his game up a notch to that elite status. Like, he has a chance here in front of him to be the best quarterback in Iowa State history. This is his team. This is his time. So, as you mentioned, losing Higgins, Noel will be tough. They're going to need some transfers to step in. Benjamin Brahmer's coming back at a tight end, another guy that really kind of needs to take his game up a step forward.
Yeah, Bramer's just got to be healthy.
Yeah. So, and then up front, you look at the starts. I mean, they have over 100 starts among the offensive line, which returns a few key guys back as well. So I know we keep saying about the offensive line year in and year out. It needs to get better. It needs to get better. Well, it definitely does. But overall, I think the playmakers around Rocco probably aren't as good. The offensive line should be improved, and I know we say that a lot, but Rocco, to me, is at the point in his career where he should be able to make everyone around him better to really elevate this offense, even despite some key losses this year.
Yeah, the offensive line, on paper, yes, it should get better, but they did lose Jalen Travis, and Travis was so good. I trust the pass protection with or without Travis to be fine, and a lot of that also does come down to Rocco being... He's just really good in the pocket. He is really good at avoiding pressure. It's the run game. We saw flashes. The run blocking against West Virginia last year, it was football porn. Against Utah too. Like, it was really freaking good. But there was a couple of games where they just could not run the ball. That's what I want to see more is, and I think it's year 3 under Ryan Clinton. So it has been a process, and they no doubt took a big jump from year 1 to year 2 under Clinton. If they can take the same size jump or anywhere close to that in year 2 to year 3, then the offense could actually be better than last year, which when you lose 2 NFL receivers, 2 top 3-round picks like that is a little jarring to say.
Yeah, well, hey, good offensive line play makes the quarterback's life a lot easier, able to run the ball, take some pressure off. So, yeah, it's very crucial for the offensive line to take another step forward.
So what's a success or a disappointment for Iowa State in 2025?
I think much like Houston, it's simple, but totally different expectations. It's getting back to Arlington.
Make a bowl? Oh.
That's the goal. Like, Rocco said it after the Big 12 title game loss last year. He said that they would be back, and that's what they need to do. It's going to be tough to get there, but that should be the goal. Getting back to Jerry World is the goal for this Iowa State team.
Yeah, I'm in the 9-10 wins boat. However that looks, I think if you're in mid-November and have no shot at the Big 12 championship game, then it's a disappointment. If you miss out because of a tiebreaker or something like that, it might be a slight disappointment. But if you're completely not in contention, then I will call it a disappointment.
That's fair.
So I think we're on the same page there.
Yeah, I think most Iowa State fans would have the same expectations of this team this year, getting back to Jerry World and winning a Big 12 championship.
Yep, and defend Jack Trice. You got Arizona State coming.
Yep.
You got BYU is probably not as big of an opponent as we maybe thought. Kansas has given Iowa State problems. Just you got to win those games and then see what happens when you head to Dublin, Fort Worth, Boulder. Like it's out there for Iowa State. It's a tough schedule, but it's not an impossible schedule.
Nope.
All right, Aiden, we got the Iowa trivia question, then we're going to wrap up with our Big 12 cities draft following that.
All right, Derek. This town in Iowa shares a name with a Caribbean island. Going away from the tough to pronounce names.
That's all I get. It's a Caribbean island name.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing else to it.
I can give you the county.
Yeah, that's gonna help me.
Guthrie County.
Yeah,
Did I do anything for you? Move the
there's
needle.
99 counties in the state of Iowa. I've never even been to the Caribbean, so I don't even know. I have no idea. I don't even have a guess.
I haven't been to the Caribbean, but I've been to Jamaica, Iowa.
There you go.
It's pretty much the
that
same thing, right?
Yep.
Is it Jamaica, Iowa? Where the hell's Jamaica, Iowa?
It's right by Aiden's hometown. It's probably, 20 minutes away?
No, I think it's on the other side of the state.
I thought Aiden's hometown was Fort Dodge.
Not quite. Not even close.
Didn't you say Grundy County? Or did you say Guthrie County?
Guthrie County.
I have been to Jamaica, Iowa. For some reason, I thought it was
Grundy County. Rise
over
up.
by you.
What'd you do there?
Rumor has it that the name originated when the town's first mayor just placed his finger on a map, landed on Jamaica, and that's how they came up with the name.
Was he a big Bob Marley fan, or?
Guessing it was before Bob
Okay.
Marley, but
All right.
safe to assume that he probably was.
Yeah, in spirit.
Oh, God. Okay, so it's southern Iowa. Guthrie County's down by Lake Panorama. So that's where I've driven through it.
Okay, you've driven through it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like south, or it's kind of like, not south, it's like straight west of Des Moines. Panorama. All right, let's move on to our draft. We are going to be drafting the Big 12 college towns, and it is brought to you by Whiskey River. They've got locations in Ames and Ankeny. There's actually one probably 10 minutes away from me. They've got good food, real good food, great drinks, and one of the best bourbon and whiskey selections of anywhere in the metro. And also a rooftop patio, which is just perfect this time of year. They also love working with Cyclones. They had ads with Xavier Hutchinson, Jalen Knoll, Rocco, Jaden Higgins in the last few years. Whiskey River is a great spot to watch a game, grab a bite, drink some bourbon.
Looking for a good time? Thought so. Whiskey River is just the place. We've got the booze, the food, the vibe, and the amazing rooftop patio. The only thing missing is you. Whiskey River.
I'm inspired. I might head there to go watch the Home Run Derby.
Oh, looks like a good time. I could use one of those drinks.
Ames and Ankeny. It's on Main Street in Ames, and it's over in the Prairie Trail District in Ankeny. Aiden is going to come in and flip a coin. The coin flip is also presented by Whiskey River.
Yep.
The most important part of any show is the coin flip. We're going to draft all 16 Big 12 towns.
Today we have Pennsylvania.
All right.
The tails. Jake, call it in the air.
We'll go heads.
It is heads.
Bang. Let me pull up my list. I'll defer. You can have the first pick.
You know where I'm going with this.
No, I don't.
Ames, Iowa, number 1. I'm taking them. Number 1. I'm going to dominate.
So you're
this ball.
pandering.
I'm taking back. No, I'm taking back what's mine. I've been to Ames plenty of times. Ames, Iowa, number 1 city in the Big 12. It's a town. I wouldn't say city, but number 1 place in the Big 12. Beautiful stadium. Jack Trice, absolutely love it there. The tailgating, absolutely undefeated. Great bars, great restaurants, even a couple great breweries there as well that I've been to. So always love going through there.
Got
Love
Whiskey
seeing the
River.
Bridge. Got Whiskey River. That is also true. So Ames is my number 1 pick. And yeah, you can call it whatever you want, Jake. You could say whatever you want, but it's number 1.
I can't disagree there at all. The way I'm doing this draft is I'm visiting, like, where do I want to visit? Whether it's for a football game, whether for a basketball game, whether it's just visiting. And Ames is an elite choice, so good pick. I'm going to go with Boulder for my first pick. beautiful mountains, absolute, like the most beautiful football stadium. I cannot wait to hopefully go there this fall for Iowa State at Colorado. I always just love visiting the mountains, and Boulder is, if you've never been to Boulder, you'd think it's just in Denver, but it's honestly kind of like Ames to Des Moines as Boulder is to Denver. So you feel like within the vicinity of it, but like it's its own thing, and it is just a really, really cool college town. It's great. I'd never go there, or I'd never live there because I don't have that type of money, but I would love to visit. And then a place that I actually haven't been before, I have been to Boulder. I haven't been to Morgantown, and that's my second pick. It's Ames. I don't know if you want to call it stepbrother, cousin, whatever it is. I've heard it's very similar to Ames, but just up in the mountains. I respect Morgantown fans, the way they drink. I have to go to a game in Morgantown soon. I can't believe I haven't done it yet.
I was just in Morgantown last month.
You were?
I went for the day, yeah. It was very nice place. As great as Morgantown is, I am going to go with Manhattan, Kansas.
Ugh.
Another elite college town.
Yeah.
I will say I have not been, but everything I've heard from it, very similar. Great fans, much like Iowa State fans. The tailgating scene there is absolutely elite. The fans there are passionate. I think everything that I've heard from anybody who's been to Manhattan, Kansas, a lot of them say it might be the best town in the Big 12. So taking it with my second pick here, I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, nice pick.
With my third pick here, taking another elite Big 12 town, classic Big 12 city here, Stillwater, Oklahoma. I think it is one of, again,
stole it.
Right with Ames, Manhattan, Kansas. I think Stillwater, Oklahoma, elite college town. You got to go to Joe's, get yourself some cheese fries. A lot of great places and bars to drink beer. Great place to eat. Boone Pickens, great stadium. The campus there, I've heard, is absolutely beautiful. So everything, much like I've heard about Ames and Manhattan, I think Stillwater definitely belongs in that upper tier conversation.
I hope, like I truly, deeply hope that I'm in Stillwater this year. Because if I'm in Stillwater, that means that the final game of the season matters for Iowa State. And I've heard, I think it was Cyclone Larry was telling me that when he went to Stillwater, he saw like a bunch of OU fans there because they said that going to Stillwater is just so much better than Norman. And that does not shock me whatsoever. So I got to try out Stillwater. With my next pick, I'm going Provo. Oh. You might not be able to have the type of fun with alcohol or caffeine as maybe in other cities, but there is no prettier scenery in the conference. And I've heard from people that went that it is not as maybe extreme as you'd think. Like you can still get a beer out there. It's maybe just not the party town. If I can go out and experience the beautiful nature of Provo and be around some of the most passionate fans in the conference, that's a win for me. And then I'll go with another classic Big 12 city for my next pick. Let's go Lawrence, Kansas. I went to Lawrence this winter before a basketball game. It is a fun college town. I compare it more. It's definitely not like Ames or Manhattan. It is definitely more of the, you can tell it's maybe more the entitled crowd. But the college bars, I know I went to a college bar when I was 23, but the college bars were incredible and just lined up down the street, and you've got the best basketball environment in the country and a football environment that's getting better as well. So I also got this thing called a schooner. I'd never heard of them until I went to Kansas. It was a beer like 3 times the size of my face.
Ooh.
Bonus points for that.
Yeah, no, I've been to Lawrence. Great town. It's a very underrated city in the Big 12, I think. I wouldn't even mind living in Lawrence, Kansas. Very beautiful.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Well, now we're kind of getting into the less towns, more cities here. But if I'm going to go with the city, I'm taking Fort Worth.
Yeah, there's a schooner.
Oh, my God.
Look at that thing.
It's as big as your head.
It's just furthering Hassel's theory that I'm 5'3".
Well, you are.
Yeah.
I'm going to go
120 pounds.
I'm going to go Fort Worth here. I think you can make a case for it. Maybe one of the best big cities in Texas. Got to go to the stockyards. Great place to get barbecue, see live music. I mean, anything, drinks, beer, whiskey, whatever you name it. You could buy cowboy boots for $800 if you want to. You can buy cowboy boots for $2,000. Cowboy hats all over the place. I absolutely love going to Fort Worth when I can. Much better than Dallas. Not even a competition or a question in my opinion. So elite place. I really like the city of Fort Worth. TCU. I don't know. The fans there can be wishy-washy sometimes depending on how the team is. Probably not the most elite tailgate scene you're going to see outside the stadium, but the city of Fort Worth, I do enjoy going there from time to time. My biggest complaint with Fort Worth is how far away it is from Frisco. Williams and I were going to Uber down there, but it was like a 50-minute Uber drive, so we didn't get to experience the honky-tonk. You're all the way in Frisco. Frisco is like North Dallas pretty much. Yeah. So I understand that. With my other one, I'm going to take the big brother, as you will, of Provo, Utah. I'm going to go Salt Lake City. I think Salt Lake City may be the most underrated big city in America, along with Kansas City. I went there a couple years ago. It is fantastic. The scenery, the mountains right outside the city, the capital there is fantastic. And really, I'll say this, a lot of breweries around that city, a lot of great food there. So I spent about 2 or 3 days there. Absolutely love my time there. I would definitely go back to Salt Lake City any day of the week. Yep, I was going to pick it this next time. A lot of just the same stuff as Provo that I've heard it's incredible. It's better. So I'm going to go, I'll go with Tucson. I had a hard time differentiating Arizona and Arizona State, but what I do know is that Tempe is in Phoenix, and Tucson is maybe more out in the middle, which makes it more of a college town. I think it'd be impossible to go to either of these and not have a blast, though. And maybe if Colin Murphy is listening, I apologize that I didn't take Tempe, but if I had to experience one, I think I'd rather experience Tucson. And then with my next pick, I will go with Lubbock. Keep it in the old Big 12. I've heard bad reviews from people that haven't been, and good reviews from people that go, that it is very similar to Ames. It's just kind of in the middle of nowhere compared to the rest of the state. But I respect Texas Tech fans like no other, and who knows? Maybe Cody Campbell's listening right now and is bribing me. Well, Lubbock is a bigger city than Ames, Manhattan, Stillwater. It's not as big as Fort Worth or Salt Lake City. I think Lubbock's a very underrated town or city, I guess you would say. So I think that's a really good pick. A lot of great barbecue food. The live music scene there, I could probably say is the best in the Big 12 as far as cities go. That's a really good pick. Oh, man. I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to go with a city that is near and dear to my heart. I'm going to go with Houston. I know, not a college town, much more of a pro city town. Not the prettiest city. I will definitely be the first to admit that. But the food there and the drinks there are absolutely incredible. It's the only place where I know you can get good Tex-Mex, great barbecue. You can get Vietnamese cuisine, Asian cuisine. You have fantastic seafood with the Gulf being right there. So many places where you can get fresh shrimp. I think it's probably my favorite food my favorite food. It's my favorite city when it comes to food. So I was just there a week ago or whatever it was for a few days. I always enjoy going back, plus catch an Astros game, of course. But I think Houston maybe, I don't know if it's an underrated city. It's a very big city, but definitely on my list ahead of some of these other ones. For my next one, oh boy, we're getting towards the bottom here. I'm going to go Cincinnati. Never been to Cincinnati. I have been to Kentucky. I know Cincinnati's right on the border there. for Ohio and Kentucky. So I guess the good thing is you can always drive to Kentucky. Although I've heard great things about Cincinnati there, I've always wanted to go check out the Reds games. The chili, I have yet to have a bite of Skyline chili. I do want to try that at some point. So I think Cincinnati would probably be next up on my list there.
I'll go with Tempe, and I'll go party with missionary Murph, Colin Murphy.
I'm not even gonna ask.
It's his nickname. That's what Keith told me. What?
I'm not gonna say nothing. Nothing.
All right.
Just keep going.
And then with my next pick, I'll go Waco, because I'm not picking Orlando. You couldn't hold a gun to my head and make me pick Orlando.
No, you couldn't hold a gun to my head and make me pick Waco. Yeah.
I got nothing to say about Waco. I'm so anti-Orlando.
I mean, I think Orlando gets a bad rap.
It sucks.
If you don't go to Disney World,
I haven't been to Disney World since I was like 7.
I know, but I think that's what people associate Orlando with, is just going to Disney World. Look, I'll be the first to admit, I freaking hate that place. I would never go back there again. I've been there twice. I never want to go back again. Never ever. That's fine. The city of Orlando itself
sucks.
I don't think it's that bad.
No, it's terrible.
I spent like 3 or 4 days there before I did head to the coast eventually. Not a bad place at all. Great. There's some excellent dive bars, some excellent food there. I think Orlando gets a really, really bad rap for no reason.
So if I had to go to Orlando and it wasn't for the Citrus Bowl or the Pop-Tarts Bowl, and I couldn't be able to take advantage of the great media hospitality room at whatever hotel they do it at, I'd rather go to Alcatraz.
Have you been to Waco?
No, but I have been to Orlando, and there's no worse feeling than being in Orlando at the Citrus Bowl and leaving the hotel. Because in the hotel, they give you free alcohol, free food. It's incredible. And then you leave and you walk across the street and you got to pay $30 for a burger and fries. And nothing's close.
You're in the wrong place for Orlando. There's some great hidden gems. I cannot say that for Waco, man.
Dave Aranda. Gosh, Dave Aranda was like, I saw him everywhere at Big 12 Media Days. He probably hates us.
He probably didn't live in Waco either. If he was smart, he probably lives outside of it.
All right. Thanks to Whiskey River for providing us this spectacular content. And of course, WealthCharter Retirement Planning and Tax. They make this all possible. Let us know what you think. This might be a contentious draft.
I feel good about it.
Picking between Baylor and UCL. I get not a lot of winners there. But thanks for picking us. Thanks for listening to Bigger Than 12 here on Iowa Everywhere. We will be back next week as we continue to count down the days until kickoff.